Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Chaos draft here on the channel. You might be wondering why I'm playing Chaos, and that's because it is a weekly tournament. We're playing against Alias V, Amazonian, Corticals, Going Optimal, Echo Bravo, Hunter Pence, and Wizard 138. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's single elimination. I play against Hunter in the first round, and we're playing some Chaos draft. If you do enjoy this video, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. So we've got a pretty decent pack. Demon of Catastrophes I don't want to take first. It asks a little bit from your deck in terms of construction, and I'd rather just start off with Murder as just a great removal spell. I think Demon is okay. Volcanic Dragon is also great top end, but it's hard to go wrong with Murder. I think Gargoyle Sentinel is also solid, but it's just because it's colorless as a first pick. But I think Murder's better than these cards, and we're just going to start with that. Demon of Catastrophes is good, but I'd rather just start with a nice little monocolored removal spell. Great place to start my draft, and then I can focus on win conditions later. Pack 2, coming straight at us from Ixalan. We have some pretty decent cards in the pack. Savage Stomp is like a 3-mana Hunt the Week, which is just a great card, very efficient. You can oftentimes get the like a pretty good effect from that. Green-black tends to be a color that I oftentimes gravitate towards in these sorts of chaos drafts because green-black has a lot of just raw card quality. Anointed Deacon was a really good card in Ixalan, but it's harder to get working here because there's not going to be as many vampires. Dark Nourishment is not super efficient, so I would rather start with Savage Stomp, which is a little bit better, even though there won't be really any dinosaurs to use. Marauding Looter is good, but it's a gold card. So I think I go Savage Stomp, then Pious Interdiction as another removal spell, and then maybe Water Trap Weaver as just a good card, but we're going to start with the Savage Stomp. Okie doke, another Ixalan pack here. Actually, this is Rivals of Ixalan, and we see a Bombard already, third pick. I don't mind giving up on one of these first two cards. We could also always splash one of these effects. But again, I just like starting these with good removal because when you have good removal, you have the foundation for a good deck. And Bombard is a really good common. There's a uncommon and a rare missing, so it doesn't mean that they're not drafting red. But 3-mana deal 4 at instant speed is just excellent. So starting off with removal into removal into removal, leaving myself very flexible here. Let's try and figure out what else might be open. Curious Obsession, worse in draft than it is in constructed, just because you have to like put it onto the right creature. But this is the best card by a lot. And then Elite Exultant Skymarcher is the second best, but it is double white. But I'm pretty happy to get Bombard. So good start to the draft, I'd say. And now another Rivals of Ixalan pack. The best card here, I believe, is Jungleborn Pioneer. Relentless Raptor is okay. It is pretty sizable, but having to attack isn't great. You don't really want clunky discard effects. Jungleborn Pioneer, 2 bodies for 1 card. I think Shake the Foundations is also okay, but it does deal damage to your creatures as well, so I don't love that aspect of it. It's a good sideboard card for sure, but Jungleborn Pioneer is just a nice addition, and we already took a green card, and having a hexproof token can be surprisingly relevant sometimes. So I think I go Jungleborn Pioneer followed by Shake, just because Shake the Foundations can do some cool things if you set it up. But I'm pretty fine. We're playing 3-drop Tribal right now. Okay, so we're heading straight back to Core Set 2021. And in this pack, there's an Onake Ogre, which is just a reasonably sized body. There's a Turret Ogre as another big creature. I think Sure Strike's the sort of card that can do really good things because your opponent can't afford to really play around any specific combat trick, so it can do a lot of good work. We have 2 green cards, and we haven't really seen any good black cards since our first pick. So I would like to take a green card, but there's not a good green card either. Turret Ogre is reasonable. I think I'm just going to take the Sure Strike, though. It seems like it's a higher likelihood of being a good card in my deck. Short Sword, not a card I'm super high on, even though I do have 1 Jungleborn Pioneer. Hello, Kelitakus. Okie doke. Moving on to Ikoria. Pretty reasonable pack here. Go for Blood. Nice if I'm playing a red-green big creatures deck. Nice removal spell that can cycle. Glimmerbell is probably the best card in the pack, but it is the first blue card that I'm seeing, and so I don't necessarily want to start off with my blue cards being a Glimmerbell. But it looks like red-green might be open. We're seeing Go for Blood, which is actually probably better in this set than it was in Ikoria. We're doing a Chaos draft against other streamers, and we actually have a really prolific pod in terms of having really quality streamers in it. Not that there's, I mean, pretty much everyone in the tournament's great, but we're going to take Go for Blood here. And now, going into our Ikoria booster. Pick 9. Brimstone Trebuchet is just decent as a pinger. We're not going to have many knights. Hengewalker's not really good. I don't think Bloodhaze Wolverine's good. Sir Farron's just too hard to cast. Wildwood Tracker could be okay. But we aren't going to necessarily have another non-human. This is Eldraine, I know. Could take this. I think I'm going to take it. It feels like the most powerful if I get it going. Okay, so we're not going to be able to use Frantic Inventory. Arsonist is okay. Dilophosaur is okay. 5 mana 4/4 is okay. Meteorite's okay as well. Meteorite gets a little bit better in this sort of set where you might want to splash and it's just like more clunky stuff going on. I think we'll take Arsonist though. Again, it's the highest upside pick, I think, and I'm down to take the high upside cards at this point. Because if you do end up with a deck that's like pretty aggressive or something like that, it's a pretty nice spot to be. Ooh, we get the Spark Tongue Dragon back. That's a nice addition. I do think Aviation Pioneer is quite good. So maybe we do a little audible into potentially a blue deck. I like Spark Tongue Dragon a lot, and red has seemed open. We got past a decent number of red cards. I think I'm just going to take the Spark Tongue, keep myself flexible here. I think red is a color I'm relatively likely to play, and I like Spark Tongue Dragon. Big Flyer. Does some cool things. Ooh, nice 2-drop. We do need 2-drops. We don't have any right now. So getting this one's nice. 2/2 that's hard to block. Curves out nicely with Wildwood Tracker. Looks like we're playing red-green at the moment, which I'm totally fine with. Naturalize is good for the sideboard. Definitely a card that I will put in the sideboard. These other cards aren't particularly good. Vampire Revenant, I'm fine passing that. Black was not open pack 1. So I think these were the most open colors. We didn't see really any good white cards other than the pick 3 flyer. I think red-green was the most open. Shatter if they have something really good. So currently we're playing red-green. Our card quality is decent. Best cards being Bombard, Savage Stomp, and the Dragon, maybe. We have a couple of early drops. I would rather play a more mid-rangey deck. Ooh, Fully Grown could actually be pretty good in this deck. Passing a last pick white card, I'm okay with that. Last pick Plains. Okay. So we have some combat tricks here. Let's see what we opened. Oh, baby! Opened up a bomb rare on color. Ripjaw Raptors, exactly where you want to be. 4 mana 4/5. Fits perfectly with Go for Blood, with the Savage Stomp. And works well with our combat tricks, so I'm very happy to get that. If it wasn't in the pack, it's actually a really bad pack for us because there's no red or green cards that are good. I might take Pirate's Cutlass. But overall, the pack is a lot way downhill after this one card. So let's sort our combat tricks over here. And our removal spells here. And go from there. We'll just sort all of our 5+ drops together. But yeah, really nice to get a Ripjaw Raptor. It's good to have some power. Hopefully our colors end up being open. So Bedeck Bedevil is just good removal, as Colossus Collision is just a good spell as well. It's a pump spell or a removal spell. I think we'll take Skewer the Critics. 3 mana deal 3 is nice. And this is basically 2 mana deal 3, but it's less flexible and it would require splashing to get the value out of Bedazzle. But I like Skewer the Critics here. I think Collision Colossus is good, but we already have 2 combat tricks, so we don't need to prioritize those as much, and we do just want good removal spells. Dovin's Acuity is a sweet card, but we're nowhere near that. The colors didn't seem open pack 1, and so we're just going to play for pack 3. I also like Rampaging Rentorn a decent amount as a nice another top-end card, but we're in okay shape with regards to that. So we have 3 removal spells. 2 of them are fight spells, so we like having big creatures for those. Okay. So Zendikar Rising here. There's the bug catcher, each creature in our party. So we have a warrior, but we already have that. A warrior, so we aren't really going to be able to use the bug catcher to good effect. If we are playing a more mid-rangey red-green deck, we could play the Kazandu Nectar Pot. I mean, this is a really bad pack for us. It's not a great sign either because all of the uncommons are here. They took commons from our color maybe, or they were just bad uncommons, bad commons for us. And maybe they took a rare. We want to transition. We have a lot of red and a lot of good green, so I don't think we're transitioning. We're just going to stay the course. Maybe we do want Molten Blast. I think we'll just take the Nectar Pot. Maybe we end up being a more mid-rangey deck. Mid-rangey version, at least. I think we can take Pride Malkin down over Wizardry, Turret Ogre, Sabertooth Mauler. Again, this isn't a great spot for us in terms of like power level, but I think we're going to be fine. The Nectar Pot doesn't really fit, so we're going to try and cut that. Make sure it doesn't make it into the final deck. We'll take Pride Malkin, though. It's just a fine little card. Oh, I can add more columns. Nice. So I'm going to do that. And then sort like that. Okay. So we're looking for red-green. Again, whiffing on the red-green cards. Snare Spinner is another defensive option. This pack's just generally kind of weak, though, so I'm not really worried. Guild Globe could be good if I wanted to splash something. So I think I'll take that over New Horizons. I guess New Horizons could be ramp if I end up being a more defensive deck. I could put like this Nectar Pot in. And just build a ramp deck that plays a little bit bigger of a game. I have a lot of removal and I've got some beatdown tools, but I think that could also be fine. So maybe I just take New Horizons. Ideally, I'd probably be a beatdown deck, but I have the tools to be a little bit more controlling. Ooh. So, again, really not a great pack for me. I guess I could take Gaia's Protector. This card was pretty bad, though, because it just trades down. I have enough red good and green good cards that I think it's worth staying the course. I have 2 great removal spells. And really, and this is pretty good. Spark-Tongue Dragon's okay. We wield that, and we have some good green. I think I'm just going to stick with my red-green stuff. Never going to get this to work in a million years. I'll just take Greenwood Sentinel. It's a fine 2-drop if you want to be beating down. Not great, though. I'm trying to have higher power level than that, but again, this pack isn't great. Plummet's a fine sideboard card. I'm just going to take Plummet. I don't want to play Greenwood Sentinel. And I have room to... I have 13 playables, and I can always just put in like a Gaia's Protector and a Kazandu Nectar Pot, so... Decks tend to be a little bit more mid-rangey in this sort of format, too. New Horizons can also help me tap for, like, Splashing Murder if I get, like, multiples of that kind of effect. Okay, Relic X. I can put it onto warriors. Do I have... how many warriors do I have? I have 1 warrior, 2 warriors... Maybe I'd rather just take the Expedition Champion. I don't think I'm going to have enough warriors to make that really a good card. 2, they're both warrior cards. I only have 2 warriors. This is a warrior. I guess I'll take the champion. I'd rather have a creature at this point. And now we get the Cutlass. I'm glad I didn't take the equipment last round because this is just going to be better than the other equipment was. So we're going to need some help pack 3. Pack 2 was not great for us. Rentorn coming back is a great sign. That card's great. I think there just wasn't good cards for our colors in that pack. And so pack 3 will be better. And we still at 16 cards. We only need 7 cards in pack 3. Though we would like to get some of these clunkers out. We could also add Protector because it has synergy with the champion. And our deck's not the most aggressive right now. I think Ambusher is actually better than Bug Catcher here. I wouldn't mind. I don't think we need Molten Blast. We have a decent amount of interaction, but this is a warrior to fuel our champion. And it's just another 2-drop that triggers our Wildwood Tracker. And I think Bug Catcher's not as good for us, so. Also, it can be kind of scary in the late game. We will just take Frost Breath because that's the scariest card. And getting another 2-drop is nice. I think red-green is pretty open. We're in good shape. And we have some warrior stuff. This card's reasonable. It's not unplayable by any stretch. Hope not to play it, though. We're going to hope not to play the Arsonist, too, I think. We're in pretty good shape, I'd say. Pretty good shape. Okie doke. So we've opened up Core Set 2020. And what do we have here? So repeated reverberation is not really good. So we get to copy one of our instants or sorceries 3 times. So we could copy... It's an instant, so we could copy our Subtle Strike 3 times, Fully Grown 3 times for 7 mana. It's not a great card, though. Air Elemental's good. Might just be a Scuttlemutt pickup. We don't have a ton of things to ramp into at the moment. Scorcher's not great. Making 3 1/1s. The 1/1s can wear Pirate's Cutlass tokens, but other than that, they don't really do much for us. Scuttlemutt's decent. As is Mammoth Spider. We already have a couple 5-drops, though. This card's decent, too, I guess. I'm just going to take Scuttlemutt, though. Ooh. Now this is a pack. So Rooting Moloch can get back cycling cards. I have 1 cycling card because of this Gopher Blood. So I don't think it's good enough to be worth taking, but Greater Sandworm is great. Rugged Highlands would also be a fine pickup just for the mana slot, but I think we're still after just power level improvements for our deck. We're still missing on playables a little bit, and just getting a big Sandworm can end games, especially now that we have this Scuttlemutt to ramp up a little bit. And maybe you could play this New Horizons if we needed some more ramp. Wouldn't mind the Tigerzilla, it's an okay card. Rugged Highlands would be nice, but I'm just going to take the Sandworm. Sandworm's really good. Probably not going to play the Pirate's Cutlass. Just want to make sure the curve is pretty understandable. Well, we did it. Gigantosaurus. It's really hard to cast, though. Can we even play Gigantosaurus? 5 green. So, if we want to play a Gigantosaurus, it's just a 10/10. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, so we don't control that many with 4 or greater. This card's not great in our deck. Druid of the Cowl could be good. That's just a really good card. Gigantosaurus is hard to cast. If we have New Horizons, it could help. I'm going to take Gigantosaurus and then play the New Horizons. Because you can just win a lot of games that way. Some decks just can't beat a Gigantosaurus. I dare say many decks cannot. Big creature, Golgari Signet. I could take the Signet to help me cast Gigantosaurus, if that's my plan. My new plan. Be a pseudo ramp deck thing. I definitely don't have the 2-drops to be a super aggro deck, so Nectar Pot get in, Ambusher get out, Wildwood Tracker get out. Maybe I'd rather just have Siege Worm, but I think Locket's fine if I'm playing heavy green. Wary Okapi. Fine enough. I also like having ways to just win the game, and we have a decent number of those now. Spark Tongue Dragon's a little bit tough to use, but I think we'll just take another Locket or an Okapi. I don't think we need the Okapi. I'll just take the Locket. Maybe we do need the Okapi. Yeah, Okapi's not super good. Early in pack 3, we have switched lanes to be just Gigantosaurus the deck. Well, that's a boon. Ooh, Mending. So you can return a creature from your graveyard, and then you return all lands from graveyard to the battlefield. Or we could take Saproling Migration. We do have a lot of creatures. And this also helps ramp us. I like this card. I think we might need this Sapling Migration so we don't die. I'm just going to take the power. Take the power level card. Hope for the best. It's my strategy. So Plummet. I could also just take Blazing Volley as a sideboard card. I already have one Plummet for the sideboard. I don't even need to play red. I guess I have some good red cards, so I'm going to try to play red. I could always just play this Arsonist as a defensive body. Getting a second Plummet in there could be good. I could see my deck struggling against it. Three mana, 1/4 reach could just be what my deck needs. Scale the Heights is a little bit tough to get going. Thwart the Grave, double black. So I could get Murder and Thwart the Grave, but then I'd give up some of my red cards. And I don't have enough Clerics, Rogue, and Warriors. I have some Warriors. Snarecaster's just a good defensive body, I'd say. Reverberation can copy really any of these cards. 3 times are pretty dangerous. It's also Natural End. I already have a Naturalize. Let's do it. Reverberation. Boom. I don't mind playing a Rooted Moloch. Sign me up. I can get back my Go for Blood. Pretty reasonable. Okay, so now if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, I control... None of my early drops are that. That's 4 or greater. I think I'm just going to take the Spider so I don't die. I do have a pretty good late game. Multicolored spell. I don't really have any multicolored spells, but I'm not playing these other cards. Actually, I'll take the Disdainful Stroke out in case someone drafts that. That's pretty good against me. I don't think I can play the Repeated Reverberation. The Scuttlemutt pick is working out nicely. Ooh, the Okapi came back nice. 2 Lockets is a lot, yeah. But I might play them both. We'll have to see. Whoa, we get back a Thallid? I'll play a Thallid. Fungus or Saproling. Just a 2-mana 2/2 on defense could be just what I need. Especially because it's a green card, so I can cut this Goblin Shaman. So I have 3 2-drops of various effectiveness in this. The Gaia's Protector could be okay. Okapi could be okay. We'll put the Locket over here. Its own category. So Sandworm, Locket, New Horizons, Locket. So we could play 16 lands in this deck and go 11-5. This Sparktongue Dragon's not looking very easy to cast. And then we just splash red. We could even go 12-4 because Scuttlemutt and New Horizons are also for red, and this way we can really maximize our Gigantosaurus. Having some recursion when mending is really nice as well. And Rooted Moloch actually has some potential. It can cycle early or do some stuff. We can just cycle this more aggressively because we have the Moloch to go get it. Maybe I don't need Sure Strike. Maybe I don't need Gaia's Protector. That card's not great on defense. Pride Malkin's still probably okay because I can put the counter somewhere to make it more useful and annoying for the opponents. We're really trying to maximize this Gigantosaurus. So I think Locket's going to be really nice because if we jam that on turn 4, we're going to win. So I think we're going to go 12-4 mana base. Yep, just what this recommends. And that'll be our deck. Pretty exciting stuff. We're battling Hunter Pence in round 1. Let's try to cast some Gigantosauruses, shall we? Should be a lot of fun, and I'll see you folks there. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support me and my content at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special thanks to those at the credits level. It is thanks to patrons that I'm able to steadily improve the quality of my videos and produce content on a consistent basis. Even just a couple bucks a month goes a long way, and there are a host of cool rewards you gain access to by becoming a patron. One perk of particular note is my card-by-card grade spreadsheet for Strixhaven, which will provide you with my up-to-date thoughts on every card in the set. If my content has provided you with some value, please consider supporting my work on Patreon because it really makes a big difference. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. We are playing against Kid Merlin, also known as Hunter Pence, the legendary baseball player. And we are going to mulligan our first hand here. We do not have a green source, which is our main color, and we don't have a second land. This hand is much better. Try to cast turn 4 Gigantosaurus. We have Mending of Dominaria to get it back if he kills it. Pretty great hand. We are going to ditch the Sure Strike. Not that Sure Strike plus Gigantosaurus wouldn't be good, but have to ditch something, and we don't have our red source yet. Sure Strike's more of a late game punch-through card in our deck. And casting this on turn 4 should end the game a lot of the time anyway. He also mulliganed. Ooh, he's got a weird pet here, probably from Strixhaven. Hello. Whew. He's maybe got a tough mulligan decision or something. This is where Golgari Locket shines, by the way. And this is where having 12 forests makes me pretty happy, because drawing a mountain would be a little bit of a shame. Okay, still have a chance to draw the card we need. 2 more draw steps for a forest, or a New Horizons or something. Blue-black, eh? Blue-black is probably the matchup I least want to see when I have Gigantosaurus. He's got a counterspell. I do have Mending to get back Gigantosaurus. That was part of this hand. Exactly. That's part of why I'm playing 2 of them. It is Cody. Hi, Cody. Radical idea. So we know about 1 card in his deck. Also, let's put on full control just to scare him. Though, to be fair, I'm not really playing a permission deck or anything. I will jam Gigantosaurus if I can. Oh, this is good to know about. Bad deal. Looks like he's going to miss a land drop. Nope. So if I draw a forest, I get to just jam my Gigantosaurus. Big draw, yes. He hits it. Turn 4. No big deal. can auto pass now. Hopefully he doesn't have removal. But we do have mending to get it back if he does. Nice. We're just going to do everything while he is tapped out. End the game quickly. Really a greater than the sum of its parts type of deck here. Turn 4 Gigantosaurus, turn 5 Ripjaw Raptor, fight, trigger, enrage, draw a card, hit him for 10. Just day in the life. If he does kill it, I have mending to get it back. Just all the rares working together in harmony. Yes! We're up a game, I think. Aven Wind Guide. And Aven Wind Mage. So he has to jump. I think I want to put him on a 2-turn clock. Myriad Construct. Got the win. Won the first game. That was one heck of a start. Let's just run that back. Okay, so we know he has Radical Idea, Bad Deal. Bad Deal is good to know about, so we'll want to hold extra lands. Aven Wind Mage could make me want to plummet. So what card would I want to cut for a plummet? I could see cutting a Wario Copy, because that doesn't line up well against his 4/4, for a plummet. And then running it back. That was awesome. I'm going to play one plummet. He's playing blue. He might have another flyer, and at the very least I can kill his Aven. And Wario Copy is a card that I'm happy to cut for basically a removal spell. And blue decks oftentimes have flyers. If I see more flyers, I might even bring in the second plummet. Also, I want to keep in mind that I don't want to play my extra lands because of Bad Deal. He's also probably terrified of me just playing turn 4 Gigantosaurus. Oh, man. Caleb, can't you just be happy for me, Caleb? My deck did everything it needed to do and more. It was the sickest overkill win ever. Okie doke. We are going to keep this hand. Giant Spider can do good work. This is a fine card. We don't have a ton of early drops in the deck. Cycling this is probably a mistake. Drawing a 2-drop is great. He's got Radical Idea, maybe. Because this is our big game-changing play. Oh yeah, oof for the opponent. But we're trying to be hyped for our side. This is just a 2-mana 2/2 in our deck. Nope. No need to do anything else. Hit me for one, buddy. I'm okay with it. So he got the Aviation Pioneer. Aviation Pioneer. I can get this thing killed with some clever like use of my Gopher Blood. But I've got the ground relatively stable. I'll get a 5/5 next turn. So I've seen bad deal. We'll block it. I can Mending it back next turn. Start ramping up towards this guy. I can even cycle this if I need to. I think I have to do this first. Air Elemental. Perfect. These come into play tapped, right? From your graveyard to the battlefield? Oh, they don't. So that's perfect. Perfect. So that'll give me a big explosive turn, maybe. Because I can get this mountain. Okay, so that's a big turn next turn. Fortunately, we're missing a land drop here. Because if we'd hit a land, we could have played the spider. Oh, the graveyard gets shuffled in, right? So I can use this plus Sure Strike. I haven't seen any cards that really punish me from going for Gigantosaurus fight spell. We'll just hope for the best. He could have a bounce spell easily. Yes! Don't need to attack. My hand is loaded, but I would have died on board. Pretty much. Well, there goes that plan. So I have 8 mana. Oh. I messed that up. I thought it returned to my hand. Whoops. Okay, I punted that. Not punted that, but I messed it up. Of your next turn. Oh, I can. Yeah, I can still use. Never mind. I didn't mess it up. Okay. Yeah. I knew that I'm sure my subconscious mind was thinking that, but I was like, I thought I'd screwed it up. Okay, sure. Furious Obsession. I just get to fight it. And we have another reach creature plus combat tricks and stuff like that. Yeah, he looks kind of flooded. But maybe he has something in his hand that's a little tricksy. I guess I could technically have played this as a 4/4 haste, but I like playing with a counter on it. Just in case he plays something big of his own. Could have a sweeper. Our deck has really performed well, though, gotta be said. Oh, he has a Planeswalker. Hello.
Seize the day, my minions.
I'll get rid of the Snarecaster. So he's just dead on board now?
We're doing things my way.
Got the win. He did get horribly flooded that game, but my deck was still pretty great. Yeah, he had some decent cards. Liana. I forgot this shuffled. I need to be more focused if I'm going to clutch this out. But this turns all lands, then shuffles. Okay. And also, I thought I was going to be able to get back my worm with the Rooting Moloch, but I did have the thing. So now I don't remember how that card works. A lot of wild stuff. See you folks next round. Welcome to round 2. We are playing against Going Optimal, or also known as Ryan Spain, and we're going to talk some trash in the chat. We're going to start off with the compliment. I was hoping to face such a worthy foe, and they're like, oh, he's being nice. It will make crushing you that much more satisfying. Thank you so much, Loaf Mode, for the subscription. I really appreciate that. We're going to keep this hand. It has all of our early drops, and it's got our Gigantosaurus. What could go wrong? I mean, a lot could go wrong. We could not draw another land, but we have some time. Dang it. He's not interacting. It makes it less satisfying to trash talk. He's got a tough mulligan decision, it looks like. Or he just doesn't want to engage in the trash talk. Okay, he's keeping... So we just want to draw lands and then play our Gigantosaurus on turn 5. Or hopefully we could draw land New Horizon. We're going to start with the Warrior. It's harder to block. And the next turn we can go Nectar Pot land. Or we could just play the Spore Crown Thallid. Or we could play Jungleborn Pioneer. Probably the Jungleborn's best. Oh, nice, nice. Whoa, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sending all your viewers my way. It was a pleasure playing against you. And, yeah, real fun. We're going to try and keep going through the tournament. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy your hotel room wherever you are. Oh, there's the red-green land. Oh, yes. I'm going to keep this hexproof guy. I'll play my Ripjaw. Ripjaw Raptor was a good card to open. Looks like he's a little bit mana screwed too. Well, this card's a heck of a card. No! Not cool. I do have some fight spells, so I can still get use out of it. Make sure I gain my life. Now I'm fine trading. This is a fine trade because then his guys can't double block my other guy. So it means this thing is much more likely to get through in the future. So far all we've seen is Saproling Migration and Pious Intervention. Writing down all the cards I see, especially in Chaos Draft. Yeah, this is a fine trade for him to make. I can't really use the token very effectively. So, Saproling Migration. Oh yeah, it's nice to just have these little earbud things. Pious Intervention. I do have Go for Blood, which still will give me the card. Okay, Meteorite, sure. Interdiction. Okay. So Forest is a good draw. And there's a lot of good draws in my deck. A lot of good draws. Just getting this 10-10 into play is going to really put him in trouble. Oh, you think you're so big and strong? Well, how about now, buddy? So he can eat that, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just going to keep my creatures around. Also, trading the 1/1s made he has one less jump blocker. No. He names creature. Okay. So you can triple block now. Imagine how cool it would be to draw a combat trick. No. Oh, yeah. We have a trample combat trick in our deck, too. +3/+3, put a trample counter on this, so that would just win the game. Is he splashing Concordia Pegasus? That's wild. Siege Worm. Concordia Pegasus. Umori the Collector. I've got some good blocking set up. He can't really attack past my guys, and I've got a 10-10 just chipping away. He has 3 cards in hand, but I've got some pretty good draws, and I only have 16 lands in the deck, so I have the 2 Golgari things, which will help. Sure. So if he triple blocks, like 1, 2. So he goes triple block like 1, 2, 3. If he triple blocks and I kill his 4/5 and his 5/5 for my 10-10, is that a good deal for me? Probably not. I'm not in a great spot because he'll still have his 4/3 and I can't attack into it. I can wait. Ten is also a good blocker, funnily enough. He just managed to add enough power to the board that it's kind of not great for me here. Sure. So I have to hit Tajik first. If I do draw a fight spell. Perfect. That sweet, sweet card draw. So next turn I'll crack this on his end step, get that extra card draw, try to draw some removal spells. I think a fight spell for this would be nice. He has 1 card left. That's pretty good. Both of those are good. dealt to other creatures, so that's good. And my creature's already, like, in trouble, and I'll draw an extra card here. Counter. And then I'm going to wait one more turn before attacking, because the beginning to attack with this and this. Because if he trip blocks with everything, then the +3/+3 still doesn't win me the combat. Sure. He's probably pretty happy with that draw, too. Because it looks good, but I have fully grown. I'm going to start writing down the cards I've seen. Because I'm about to win. Tagic. Legion's Edge. I just like taking the time now. Scampering Scorcher. I kind of wish that I had taken that Blazing Volley. Would have been real good. Did I write down Turret Ogre? No, I did not. Okay, I feel like I'm about to win, so we will just play this by the book. Even if he does blow me out with like a destroy target attacking creature situation, I'm not in the end of the world. It's not great, but it's still doable. We're not going to play scared. Looks like he's splashing. He's just playing straight 3-color maybe? I don't know. Hopefully this works. He could have something. Jeez Louise. He has Dauntless Unity in his deck. Jeez. So he's still in trouble. My creatures are pretty big. He's not going to be able to double block them very effectively. I mean, he can do that, and then he can like double block that one. But then he takes 5. He goes to 2. Got him. So he has some flying. He has the Pegasus as a flyer. Scampering Scorcher. Sapperling Migration. Do I have anything good that's good against small creatures? Goblin Arsonist could be okay against stuff, but it's bad against Tagic, and it's a splash color, so I don't really want to bring it in if it's not necessary. He doesn't have any. Oh, he did. He had Naturalize is going to come in. I'm going to bring in Naturalize because he does have that Pious Interdiction, and that's going to be able to free up one of my creatures in the late game after he draws that. And so we'll just cut one of my worst cards against him. I think Pride Malkin's good for giving my big things trample. Sure Strike is good for those big combats. We didn't see any instant speed removal, so that's good. Maybe Giant Spider's less necessary, but he could... I mean, because he has Naya, he has one flyer that we saw. I'd probably rather have it than Tajur's Snarecaster. So let's do it like that. Because it can block a Tajik and kill it. 2/4 interacts decently against... not a ton of things. But I think it's more... I have a lot of 3-drops, so I'm probably fine just having a 4/4 thing in my deck. I could play a Plummet if I see another flyer. But we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of his cards. That's like half of his cards. What Dauntless Unity is good to know about. He's got a lot of 1/1, so being able to give trample to my big guys is important. But my Siege Worm thing, my big worm should be good too against this. So he knows I have my combat tricks now. He doesn't know about Sure Strike though. Sure Strike would have decimated him in that one board. Well, this is a keep pretty easily. I'd say we just play Forest. And then if we draw a couple forests, we can play our card. Having 2 of our 4 mountains in the opener is not great, but you work with what you're given here. He's mulliganing. Gigantosaurus just being absolutely beastly. I wonder if it would, how funny it would be if there was a rule where if you were playing in the streamer tournament, you had to host whoever you lost to. And so by the end, there's just 2 death balls of streamers. Like all of the viewers are watching the 2 streamers going into the finals. That could be like a crazy rule. Or not rule, but like if you're like highly encouraged to do it or something, like maybe it just lines up where you want to keep streaming afterwards. But it would be kind of crazy. There's just like 2 death ball streamers where they're just like take no prisoners kind of. Oh, of course I drew my mountain. Gosh. Darn it! No! The worst possible draw! Dang it! My deck has so many green sources. It's basically, there's 4 pods, and so you play your pod. If you win your pod, you go to another pod. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to have to cycle that bad boy. Maybe I'm not going to. Maybe I don't have to cycle that bad boy. I have the mana to cast him. Probably not a good idea to cycle him. Oh, no, that's for the wrong tournament, Bruce. I haven't updated that. Wrong tournament. It doesn't do anything. No. Of course, he has his mana online. There you go. Cultivate. Oh, you lucky devil. You lucky dog. I would love Cultivate in my deck. We'll just ramp up. Ramping. Da, 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 da. I need 2 more green sources. 4 mountains really punishing me here. I don't think I've drawn any of my red spells, really. I do have some that are pretty decent. I don't mind taking 2. I'd rather be more mana efficient on this turn. Oh yeah, Nectar Pot coming in clutch. Blocking all comers. So Cultivate. He's like playing an aggro deck or something. His deck is disjointed as heck. Greenwood Sentinel. Oh, you think I'm not blocking, my friend? Oh, I'm blocking. Nobody chump checks me. That's not ideal. So what would punish me here? Does he have +2/+1 for everything? If he does have +2/+1, I'd rather block there and there. And then +3/+3 my guy still dies. And then I can bombard his guy. Yeah, this block works out for me. Let's just block like this. So he didn't leave up white mana, so he has Crash Around +3/+3. So which one do I want to use? Probably my combat trick. No, because combat trick lets me win with this thing. Crash the rampart's good to know about. Oh no. What did he play? Sajiri Shelter? Well, that's not a great thing. Oh no. Sajiri Shelter. Well, if I had drawn more forests than mountains, I would have been in good shape here. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Well, that's a bummer. I think I'm dead. Oh, that's a bummer. If I'd known he had Sajiri Shelter, I would have gone for the +3/+3, but I had no clue that he had that card in his deck. I could play that card. Probably want the Snarecaster now that I know more about his deck. Maybe the 2/4 is also fine. What would I want to cut? Okapi gets a lot worse. Sure. Oh, that was tough. So now we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 of his cards. I played around what I could, what I knew about, what was reasonable. I think going for the bombard there makes sense. Yeah, I drew my last mountain. I drew all my mountains that game. If I'd been able to play a Gigantosaurus, just imagine how different that game is. And it's not unreasonable to expect me to draw a ratio of 4 forests, 1 mountain. Not unreasonable at all. He also had all his colors on turn 3. Not that he needed them because he had Cultivate, but still. Feels bad, man. We'll play first. This is a good hand. Casting Ripjaw early is great, especially because I have Naturalize to protect it now. Maybe I want to cycle the Moloch. I do need to hit land drops. I think I will cycle the Moloch. Just gives me more opportunities to find stuff that's good. I'm playing Scuttlemutt because on the turn I play Locket, I can also play my 2-drop maybe. And I haven't seen anything that punishes this. Oh no. Drew to the cowl. Oh my gosh, does he have a fight spell too? Ugh. He doesn't have white mana, so he can't cast some of his spells. You can't play Afraid in these sorts of things. You could have Meteorite to kill my Scuttlemutt. Scorcher, okay. So I could hold back and have 2 combat tricks up. Or I could play this and have just Sure Strike up. I'm just going to do this. If I draw a land, I can go this into the Snare Caster, but this way I have fully grown up, so I can potentially draw a card off my Repjaw Raptor. Oh, last game was such a rough one for my deck. So he has the Siege Worm, we've seen that. We've seen Yumori. So you could have +3/+3, and then I have my +3/+3 to counter. You could also just kill this Spore Crown Thallid. Huge. Game changer. And I have the Naturalize for if he has his Pious Interdiction. So we've seen his Crash the Ramparts now. His Druid of the Cowl. His Umori's dead. He's got his... Siege Worm out. He's got his Scampering Scorcher out. He is going to attackers, it looks like. So he's looking for a white source, maybe. I'm going to start attacking with Ripjaw Raptor, I think, after I play this Giant Spider. Oh, there's his white source. I think the kicker on it costs white, too. Let me just Google Dauntless Unity, because that's the one card I'm afraid of at this point. Yeah, it costs double white. So they get +2/+1. Sure. I can wait. I've got a lot of big things to draw. I'm not afraid of most of the cards he could draw. Like he's got Highland Game and Greenwood Sentinel in his deck. Oh, well that's kind of scary. Swath Cutter Giant, eh? But when it attacks, I get to draw a card. Nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's only got a few unknown cards left. So I could play this, but then I go Shields down for a turn. On my Sure Strike, which I don't really want to do. I'll just play this guy. Sure. So I'll just play this. Once I get this thing into play, it'll be really tough for him. Because this thing can attack past all of his little guys. I'm playing extra conservative here. Five, 6, 7, 8. Again, I just want to hold with this Sure Strike. And also this Naturalize, so that he can't just like naturalize something, wreck me. He's drawing towards his +2/+1. He needs a second planes for it. Sure. So he's drawn Sapperling Migration. He's drawn Tajik. He has drawn Highland Game. On his end step, I can crack one of them. Nice. Still have Sure Strike up. Scuttlemutt can mess with Sajiri Shelter too. Sure. Sure, he's got Sentinel. So he doesn't have any, like, kill spells. So I think this is fine to go for. Start attacking. 3-turn attack. I can always crack this. And I have Mending of Dominaria in my deck. You can also block with Tajik. I'm going to put the counter on itself so it doesn't die to the Swath Cutter Giant attack. I still have up my Sure Strike and my Naturalize. And I can crack this on end step. He's got his Cultivate, it looks like. Farfinder. Good to know about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm assuming he's playing Sanctuary Shelter in a spell slot because his deck seems like it wants to cast it as a spell a lot of the time. So this could be his Dauntless Unity turn. Kind of unfortunate. So he doesn't have Dauntless Unity, or he would have attacked there. Or I feel like he probably would have attacked. So I can kill Tajik. Oh, I didn't crack my Golgari Locket. That was a mistake. I can't kill Tajik with the giant with this. It deals only 4 damage. It only prevents it to other creatures. I need to make sure I sacrifice this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10 mana. So even if I sack this, I can still have enough to do 2 things. I need to remember to do it next turn. Yikes. McKindy Stampede, yikes. Prevents non-combat damage to other creatures you could control. I might have enough life to live here. Oh my gosh. If I had used my Golgari Locket, I might have been able to win here. Okay, pass to blockers. So we just want to survive here and make sure we kill this. So we're going to go block. Um, So, let's just go block, block, block. Block, block. That doesn't have trample though, so we can just block single block. 5/5 can block 4/4. Block there. There. Yikes. I have 4 timeouts. So there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. I can't afford to double block anything, I guess. Oh, that's such a shame. So I take 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Oh my gosh, I punted the game. I would have won. I think the fox isn't an artifact. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Man, that's brutal. Wow. Exact damage. Oh, never mind. I was dead. Oh, man. Oh, man. I was about to get him, too, with my worm. That was tough. What you don't know can hurt you, apparently. Because that Stampede owned me. I was trying to prepare for Dauntless Unity, which also would have killed me. Maybe I just had to jam the worm a couple turns earlier. Not be so afraid and hold up my Sure Strike, but it felt like holding up Sure Strike in case he had the Dauntless Unity and went for it a bit early could be good. Because the first strike interacts favorably. I also think he probably already had the pump spell, so if I had used even if I tried to go for my Savage Stomp, he probably would have had the fight spell to make it not work. But then I would have had because then he would have they would have like traded or something. That's tough. Whew. I mean,
Thanks for all the great
whoa,
content.
Mitch, thank you so much for the subscription. I really appreciate that. 12 months, that's a long time. Not cracking the locket would have gotten me access to the Savage Stomp, but I'm saying the Savage Stomp wouldn't have mattered if he had the +4, +2, because it would have messed up my fight spell on his giant or on his other big creature. And then I think I missed on one land drop, so I would have been at 19, but then it didn't really matter. Wow. Just like that, he's knocked out. That was tough. That was real tough. He had this go wide thing. I was doing all right with my Sandworm. My Sandworm was doing all right. Also, holding up that +4/+2, probably protected from the +4 plus. I mean, holding up my Sure Strike probably protected from him using the Colossus. Like, I could have totally blown him out with that, so it could have worked out. And it's not like I was doing nothing on my turns. It just so happened that the old Sandworm came down a couple turns later. Didn't get the attacks in as well. Huh. Real tough one. That was a tough loss. Feels bad. He just had duplicate copies of his really good card. I was pretty far in my deck. I needed to have like a little bit more stuff to do. Yeah, his deck did look good too. He has a lot of good stuff. It was funny because in the last game, he played like several cards that were like really bad for me that I hadn't seen in the first 2 games. I'm not sure how I would have been able to change my strategy, but it was tough. Anyway, fun tournament. We managed to get through one opponent, and then we lost to this deck. Also, we could have totally won game 2 if we had literally just drawn 2 forests instead of draw. If we drew all of our mountain, we drew 3 of our 4 mountains in our draw steps, and if we had drawn 1 mountain instead, we could have just easily won that game. So, I mean, the match was really close, and this game was close too. We were 1 attack step away from getting him there. I don't know if he ripped the McKinley Stampede off the top, but, I mean, yeah. 12 cards. He had 17 cards left, so he had decent odds of drawing it out. But it was like 1 turn too soon because I was going to kill him this turn with that, so he would have had to make some weird blocks. It was tough, for sure. But yeah, if you folks were watching this on YouTube and you made it all the way to the end, let me know. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite moment was. You could leave hashtag Dream Gigantosaurus because we got it on turn 4 on the play, which was really funny. But pretty cool deck, I'd say, overall. Ryan Spain managed to take us down, but we went down swinging. It was a hard-fought battle. And good decks on both sides, it seemed. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.